Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather.
Red leather, yellow leather. What are we
The
doing?
rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain.
What are we doing?
Are we recording?
Yeah, we're
Oh.
recording. Cheers.
Cheers!
Cheers to another episode. And we have lots of snacks today.
We have lots of snacks.
So many snacks.
I don't know
Timbits.
how many times I have to tell Ryan I'm going to Jamaica and I want to eat healthy. We have Timbits, flaming hot Cheetos, and hummus and pita. But that's not really bad.
No, and Coors Light.
Coors Light. So welcome.
Sponsor us.
Sponsor us, you and Nike. All right, welcome back to another episode of Is This Adulthood?
With
Katie Jones.
and Ryan Durgy.
All right, well, today we're going to be talking about the concept of microcheating and I guess kind of cheating in general.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, we can kind of do whatever we want. It's our podcast.
Yeah, you can't tell us what to do, listeners. All right, so we're going to kick this off with what is microcheating, because this is a concept that Ryan actually just recently taught me.
Yeah.
Clearly, he's not very faithful if he knows all the different terminology.
No, excuse me. Take that back. I mean, I don't even have a boyfriend to not be faithful
Yeah,
on, so.
because you're unfaithful.
That's not true. That's not true.
Okay, so tell our listeners, what is microcheating?
So micro cheating is, you have emotional cheating or physical cheating. It's kind of, if you fall in love with someone or if you kiss them or you hook up with
Well,
them.
no,
That's like,
let's hold on. Emotional cheating is, again, another gray cheating area that we'll talk about. It's the physical one that's the most obvious.
Okay, most obvious. But micro cheating is kind of what we're dealing with in today's social media age. So someone direct messaging someone or commenting fire emojis on their picture or maybe following an ex and always liking their stuff.
That's just downright wrong.
But this is kind of the micro cheating. Is it really considered cheating? And we're going to talk about our opinions on this. Katie actually found an official definition.
Because I do my homework.
She does her homework. I'll give her that. Great job. And so she looked it up based off a Huffington Post article. Micro cheating, according to them, is texting someone without your partner's knowledge, saving a person's number under a different name, or lying about relationship status. And I think in addition to that, it is, from what I've read, Instagram DMing, being kind of secretive, with maybe not the best intentions, but are you really acting on it? Is a fire emoji or heart eyes considered cheating?
Yeah, and again, I think that micro cheating is a subcategory that can fall under the emotional cheating because you are talking to somebody, no matter how consistently,
Yeah.
for a reason that your partner's unaware of. So I'm a super jealous bitch. So
Let's just start like that. By the way, we have our Coors Light bottles.
Coors Light battles.
Bottles. Cheers.
I don't know if he was like a hillbilly there. We're from the South. We got our Coors Light bottles.
Bottles. Coors Light bottles.
Okay, yeah, no. So I do not cheat on me because
Ooh.
I will hunt you down. No, to be serious though, I am just a believer in if you are with somebody, there is absolutely no reason to be private talking to somebody else. And I can say from, personal experience, I have, as one of the Huffington Post definitions, I've saved someone else's name. I have a long time ago, and I would never dream to do it again. But yeah, because
What? So you saved, so let me get this straight. That's the only thing straight about me, by the way. Let me get this straight, that you were dating someone, but you saved someone that you were texting, you saved them under a different name so that the person you were dating wouldn't kind of catch on? Is that the idea?
I guess so. Okay, I just like to reiterate, this was a long time ago.
Okay, we'll give some context.
Teenager days. But you never want it to go anywhere with that person because that's why you're not acting on it. But you do want to exchange maybe a few text messages, or that maybe the conversation you're having is slightly on the flirtatious side, or for whatever reason, you change that name in your phone so that if your partner reads that text messages, they wouldn't know exactly who it's coming from. It's to cover your tracks and save your ass.
Well, it sounds like a little bit of cheating to me.
That, I think, is micro-cheating.
Yeah.
But then again, I just think that's cheating.
Well, the thing is that I can agree with you, but I mean, at the point that you have to change someone's name, if it really is harmless, I know you kind of went more into it then, but when you started, you were kind of like, you change the name because, you just want to do some texting back and forth. If it's that harmless, then I feel like you can keep their name. Once you start changing the name, that's because you're hiding something.
Absolutely.
Would you agree?
Absolutely. And I just think that cheating is cheating is cheating. So I'm not going to, obviously having an affair is a little bit more dramatic than micro cheating, saving someone's number, saving someone's name as someone else. But at the same time, you're cheating and that's the issue at hand. And I don't think I could be with someone that crosses that line, whereas other people are able to forgive their person or know that it was a one-time thing.
Yeah.
I am just kind of like, unfortunately, you did me wrong, so go be sad because you don't get me back.
See, I've heard of it in the context of, I was telling someone about how I had DM'd this guy on Instagram because he posted some kind of like thirst trappy kind of stories, right? Like with some chest
Ryan,
showing.
Thirst trappy. thirst trappy.
Vocabulary of 2019. And I'd replied back maybe with heart eyes or fire emojis or something. And he kind of continued it on and was kind of flirty. And this was someone I didn't really even know. I just had followed on Instagram.
No, sorry. I'd just like to clarify this for our listeners. Had never met. Didn't really know.
I hadn't.
Ryan, I see right through you.
I had never met him, but I kind of knew of him through some mutual people. And then all of a sudden I saw him posting pictures with his girlfriend. And so one day he posted something on story and I was like, and it kind of made me wonder, is he single now? And I was like, oh, are you single now? And he was like, no, but the minute you say but, if you're not single, the minute you say but, that's going into micro cheating territory because it's like, why are you saying but? So
absolutely.
His but was, it's a super long distance relationship.
Absolutely.
So it's like at that point, it's why are you even justifying it? You have a girlfriend.
Exactly. I have a boyfriend. There's no if, and, or buts. I'm taken. I am off the market. I have a boyfriend. I am not single.
And the other side of it is I've heard of girlfriends where they actually got upset with their boyfriend because he was following Instagram models and liking their photos. I think that's I think that's crossing a line. I not from his side, from her side, because if you're liking models' photos, like, are you really gonna meet up with an Instagram model?
Maybe.
It's different if it's someone that's local and you're liking their photos and they're super hot, but like someone with 1 million followers and like 200,000 likes. Would you get your boyfriend to unfollow Instagram models that he was liking?
No, but I'd be a little annoyed if he had a whole bunch of... Actually, I had this conversation with my boyfriend recently.
Oh, really?
Asking if he followed any models because a friend did. Anyways, it wasn't a serious or intense conversation at all. But he is a country boy... So he follows people with like tractors and repair parts.
Tell me you didn't get mad at him for following a tractor account.
I'm not that
crazy.
No, he just laughed because he thought like, why would I follow models? Like I don't, because he just doesn't have that. He doesn't have that mentality, and he definitely would have no idea what thirsty trap means.
Thirst trappy.
Yes. Thirst trappy.
Let me just say that Katie's boyfriend is so cute. He's like in a physical sense, he's very attractive, but like just in general, he's just such a nice person. From my experience meeting him, I have now met him, listeners. I know I've talked about him on the podcast, so I hadn't met him yet. I have met him now. Talked to him on the phone. I described to him.
On the phone a lot.
Okay, it's not like I'm calling up her boyfriend. Katie puts him on the phone with me.
Yeah, I know.
I was just because I was telling him the type of guy that I'm interested in, and I want him to find a nice country boy for me that matches the criteria. That's it.
No,
just as a side note,
they have a friendship. It's lovely. Okay, and that's the thing. It's like the minute that you start having a wandering eye, I think that depending on the age that you are, if you're in high school and you're younger and stuff, not saying that cheating's okay then, but you're still learning. You're still learning
what's right and wrong.
But now I feel like have the respect for yourself.
Yeah.
Have the respect for your age, your relationship, and the person that you're with. That the minute you start having a wandering eye, and hey, you know what? We're all human. A lot of people, as time goes on, believes that monogamy is becoming kind of not an extinct, but a passé way of living. That talk to your partner and say, we need to spice things up, or we need to, just do different things or go different places, or, just try new things because I'm having a little bit of a wandering eye.
Or maybe you guys can explore an open relationship.
Well, that's a totally different thing because I could never, ever do that.
Yeah.
But then I have a friend that's recently out of a very serious relationship in which she has a kid with that person. And she has said that
that's something she would want to explore.
Something she would want to explore, having no idea how to initiate that new lifestyle change, because especially when you have a kid.
Yeah.
But it is something she would want to explore. I know personally a couple that's been together for a very long time, and they are not serial, I don't know how to say that. Swingers, yeah. They're not serial swingers, but they have invited certain people throughout the years. I think that's great. I think whatever you need to do, just have that conversation, because before you know it, if you don't,
has to be mutual
because if you don't, before you know it, you're having those DM conversations or you're saving that person's name as somebody else, and then, like most things in life, it's the spiral effect, the domino effect. So just to all my listeners, listen to your wise Katie.
All my listeners, excuse me.
To all our listeners,
thank you. All right, Katie Jones, where can our lovely listeners follow us on social media?
All right, well, I'll go first. Mine is K, the letters T-E-E, like T.
Is it like T? Like just T.
Jones. So K-T-E Jones. That's my Insta. That's all we need to know. Bye.
I know. Insta's so in right now. And my Insta is at Ryan Durgy, RyanDurgy. And also, we have our very own Is This Adulthood Instagram.
Which you're obviously already following.
Of course.
And you know what?
But just in case you aren't, here it is.
Is This Adulthood?
As easy as that.
You can't forget that. Come on.
Easy squeezy
We
lemon
only
peasy.
want smart listeners. Also, guys, I'm going to get into my Twitter again.
Oh.
I only ever really tweet about the Leafs, but I'm going to get back into my Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your Twitter?
I'll have to look that up.
Look it up right now. In the meantime, my Twitter is, ready for this, at Ryan Durgy, RyanDurgy. Katie's pushing all of our snacks and looking for her phone for Twitter. It's okay, Katie, I have my phone. I'll look you up. Because, I mean, I think we're following each other if she hasn't blocked me yet. Let me see. Katie Jones. So it's at 01 Katie Jones.
Because I'm number one, baby.
It's at 01 Katie Jones on Twitter.
Okay, so now you know all of our social medias. Follow all of them and let your friends know what they are so they follow us too. Okay, now Ryan, have you ever been cheated on?
No.
No.
And I've never cheated either. I think that even when I'm really interested in someone, say I kind of start, like, you talk to someone at work or you whatever, and you feel like it's getting kind of flirty territory from them, and then just your natural instinct is to maybe be flirty back because it's friendly, right? You're trying to be friendly. I usually feel kind of bad. Like, I almost feel like, okay, well, maybe I need to tell this person, like, what happened or tone it back, or I kind of get like in my feelings about it. When I'm single, I'm like, oh, if I was dating someone, I'd have to be flirty. I'd have to be almost more flirty so that then I would know that people are still interested in me. As bad as that sounds, it would be like,
so you need that confidence boost to go out there and be like, I can lock down somebody permanently and I can still catch strangers' eyes.
Well, exactly. If that person I'm permanently with dumped me the next day, there's other options. I know that I'm still attractive to people, but then it's interesting. Once I get into a relationship or talking to someone more seriously, I find that then that kind of goes out. I mean, I've never really been in a serious relationship, but when something has gotten more serious, I've been I've almost felt bad when it gets to that point, and even if someone else is flirting with me, like I've had that where all of a sudden, once you start seeing someone seriously, all these guys come out of the woodwork. Like all of a sudden you get all these, it's true, like these memes, you get all these texts and DMs. It's like, where have you been for the last year? Yeah. And the minute once I have someone that's special to me, you come out of nowhere, and it's someone that you were always into. You know what I mean? And I have to shut them down. I'm like, hey, I've been doing well. I've been seeing this guy, and I shut it down. So I think once I'm actually serious with someone, I'm pretty good at shutting it down. But yeah, I luckily, knock on wood, I've never been cheated on.
Ryan just knocked on his head, everyone.
That counts, doesn't it? If there's no wood around.
Well, I can't do that. I'm full of knowledge. But you know what's true? People also come out of the woodwork once you're single.
Really?
When it became quite obvious that I was no longer with my ex-boyfriend, you can just tell. There's all of a sudden these people that I would have never guessed, or just certain situations. So it's interesting. But at the same time, with what you're saying about kind of needing to continue your flirtatious ways because you want to remind yourself, hey, I still got it, even though I like what I have at home. But maybe it's just because I'm so happy right now. But I think it's also dependent on how you're treated in a relationship. If somebody is constantly reminding you that you are fantastic and attractive and all that stuff, then you really do know it. And you don't seek it elsewhere. But then you know what? Like all relationships are different, and the length of your relationship depends. But either way, cheating is so bad. And my number one thing is don't cheat on me, because I don't want you to screw me up for my life or my future relationships.
So have you been cheated on before, or have you cheated on someone before?
No, I've never been cheated on. The closest that I ever felt to having that feeling is, you guys all probably remember Honesty Box years ago.
Yeah. On Facebook, right? Yeah.
Yes. So I had a boyfriend a long time ago, and he left his laptop open, and Facebook was on, and blah, 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 blah. I'm an insecure teenager.
So you just happened to go on his laptop.
It opened itself.
Uh-huh.
And no, anyways, he had messaged his ex-girlfriend on Honesty Box saying he had wished things never changed. And that stuck with me.
That hurts.
We had only been together for a short while, like really not long at all. And we actually ended up going on to having quite a great relationship. But at the time, that really, really stung. And I've never forgotten it. And it was it was early days of high school. So it was a long time ago, but it still always stuck with me. That kind of betrayal when you decide, like, two people like each other enough that they want to be with each other. They want to close off all options, focus on one another, and then they go and do that. So to all the women and the men out there that have actually experienced true cheating, physically being with someone else, or even having a drunk mistake, that I can't even imagine how much that would hurt, because I've just never forgotten that little Honesty Box thing as a kid, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear of these people that have affairs. Here's a little tea.
Oh, Katie, this is the first time Katie's had some tea. Uh-oh.
It's thirsty, trappy thirst. No, it's not really tea, I guess. My mom had a friend that was married to her husband for like 25 years, and they had a best friend couple that were married for the same amount of time.
Yeah.
Well, the woman and the other man from the other marriage were having an affair for the entire time that they were married to their spouses.
At that point, why wouldn't they just be together?
Exactly.
That's literally wife swap.
They ended up coming out like 20 years or something after and being together, but the entire time of their marriage, raising their children, being the best friend couples that would go on vacation together. I think there were maybe even neighbors having an affair. Could you imagine the horror?
I'd be devastated.
That I'm sorry,
me.
that could break somebody.
Yeah. I've heard, because I used to have a close friend who was always, we're not really close anymore, but she was always the other woman. She was always the mistress, so I would hear her stories, and it was interesting how many of these guys, and it's usually like not even like, oh, they just started dating a girl for a month and they cheat. It's like guys that had proposed to their girlfriend the week before and then would hook up with the other people. And I remember she was reading a book about it, because she was, from her perspective, she was the other woman, and people can debate whether she was in the wrong or she was in the right. It's like at the end of the day, whether she did it, if she didn't do it, it would be someone else. It'd be someone else. So, I mean, I do think, a lot of the responsibility is on that person that's doing the cheating, that's in the relationship. So anyways, she was reading books on it, and I remember one of the things that stood out to me was that cheating isn't necessarily just because the person feels unfulfilled in the relationship, which does happen sometimes with cheating, but a lot of the time it's because of the whole
getting caught.
Yeah, like the fear,
the danger.
Yeah, the danger of maybe getting caught.
So Ryan doesn't put his phone on silent.
It is, but it came through on my computer.
Whatever.
Anyways. But it was like the risk, I forget what the word was, but it was like the risk of getting caught. It's like part of the whole idea of having like a second life kind of thing, and the whole like thrill of it all.
The thrill of it all.
The thrill of it all. And I found that interesting because it's like, even if you're doing everything and the person's happy, it could be just that they want something on the side as like this thrill.
Which I think speaks to that person and maybe kind of what they're lacking or who they are like within their core. But with that said, I think that we both agree that, you know, microcheating is another one that has gray areas. People will have a difference of opinion. Some people, I know I have friends that are in relationships, and they say one way that they keep their spark alive is allowing their partner to flirt with other people.
Yeah.
Because they know and they trust that that person won't take it the step farther, but it keeps the kind of, you know, a lot of people don't want to be in a committed relationship and feel like that's it, that's done. They can never, you know, look at another person. Whereas some people say, I don't have a problem if my man goes out and like recognizes how beautiful that woman looks.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, all you see is me.
Yeah, I think I'm more on Katie's side too, where it's like, just pay attention to me. But I knew someone that were together for 8 years and now they're engaged, like high school sweethearts, university sweethearts, and like just they work, right? And they're like that. Like they would go to bars and each other would dance with people. Not make out or anything, but they would dance. And especially her, she'd like find like the kind of guy that looked like he was alone or kind of sad at the bar, and she'd grab her. It's something that I feel like he would do.
Actually, I feel like I've done that.
grab the old man's hand that's in the bar by himself and dance, but even dance with other people too. Not necessarily grinding, but kind of being like the flirty, fun selves, because they knew who they were going home with at the end of the day, and for them, it worked. Do you want to know some tea about like cheating that I heard recently?
Yeah.
It's not really tea, but I just found the story really interesting. So my friend, her sister got her passes to go, or like a coupon or gift card or whatever, to go to a psychic. And the psychic supposedly really, really good. And the reason why they knew that this psychic was good was because the sister had a friend who went to the psychic, and the friend went with the psychic with her other friend.
Oh, geez. So like the two, are you guys following this?
So the two friends went to the psychic together, right? And usually like psychics want to do just alone readings. Like they just want the one person in the room for the reading because they can pick up on other people's vibes or whatever, right? I'm totally about the psychics. I just think it's really interesting. So at one point, but whatever, the psychic allowed them both to come in together. So it was the two girlfriends, like the two girls, they're both in relationships, right? And at least that's how I understand it. At least one of them was in a relationship. And the one girl left the room. She said, sorry, I have to go to the washroom. So she went to the room, and the psychic turned to the other girl. And
she's sleeping with your boyfriend.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think, spoiler alert. Thanks, Katie. She literally turns to the girl and says, I know that you're sleeping with her husband. And she goes, you need to tell her. Like, you need to tell her, I know that you're sleeping with her husband and I can feel it, and you need to tell her. And so when the other friend came back in the room, the other girl said, hey, I need to let you know, this has been on my chest for a while. I've been sleeping with your husband. And the other girl said, I know. I had a feeling, and I just want to wait until after this session to see whether it was going to come out. Whoa. And so they made up, and I guess it was good. I don't know what's going to happen in that relationship, but yeah, the psychic knew.
Oh my God.
What about commenting on people's photos and DMing and, you know, the heart eyes?
Wrong.
Yeah. So
Wrong.
I agree. I think that if you're doing fire emojis and heart eyes on someone else's, of someone that you may be attracted to, I just think that if you're doing that kind of stuff, that maybe...
Yeah, it's just wrong. Like, text me, hit on me, and I'll do the same.
Yeah.
And then whatever you do on your private time in terms of, you know, whatever you got to do. But there's absolutely no way that you need to be commenting that girl looks attractive or whatever. Like, you can think that. We're all human. But there's no need to express it.
Would you ever be the type of couple where you would look at other people wherever you're at. So you're at a restaurant, you look at someone, you'd be like, oh, like he's really hot. And then he would go, oh, well, she's really sexy, and kind of comment on other people's looks.
I don't think so.
Really?
No, yeah.
I think I could maybe do that.
I mean, there's something to say about that. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of sexy, but no,
Yeah.
I don't see us doing that. All right, guys. Well, I think that concludes another episode of Is This Adulthood?
Is this adulthood?
Gosh, adulthood is confusing.
But we're breaking it down for you.
Yeah, exactly. So, let us know what you think. Comment, likes, and fire emojis. Get thirsty.
Oh,
Tell us whatever
Truffy.
you need to tell us, and we'll be launching some video content soon. Can I say that now?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, so keep on listening, keep on cheering, keep on supporting, promoting, and idolizing. From your favorite people, this is This Adulthood with Katie Jones.
And Ryan Durgy. Bye.
Bye.